Holy shit, folks. Brace yourselves. We have our fifth major breaking update in the ongoing and ever escalating civil war between Donald Trump and Elon Musk. Musk has now officially called for Donald Trump's impeachment. And ever since Musk dropped the Epstein bomb on Trump just a couple of hours ago, Trump has been very different in public, both on Truth Social and just now on camera. He just wrapped up a live TV law enforcement roundtable, and he took no questions from reporters, totally shut them down, and was visibly deflated and quiet the entire time. This is not good for him or for MAGA. But before we unpack all that, if you end up liking this video and you want to support the channel, please be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and alert bells before you go. All right, folks, just look at this. Hear the defeat in his voice, the tone, the volume, see it on his face, and the fact that Trump, who is always eager to engage with reporters, is now totally subdued and deflated.
Very nice.
Yes. Second.
Yes. We're going to have a little discussion now, very private. And I just want to thank you all for being here. And thank you very much, media. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Mr. President, any response to Elon Musk claiming about the Epstein files?
They're peppering him with questions about Elon Musk, and he's like, listen, we're going to have a private discussion. We can't talk about this. Donald Trump running from reporters about this. And this comes right as Elon Musk is now advocating for Trump's impeachment. Ian Miles Chung posts this, President versus Elon, who wins? My money's on Elon. Trump should be impeached, and J.D. Vance should replace him. Elon Musk goes public, yes. Elon Musk is publicly advocating for the impeachment of a man that he spent at least around $300 on to get $300 million to get elected. A man whom he endorsed back in July, a man whom he bent all the forces of his social media company X to support, a man who he has just latched his reputation to at extraordinary consequence. And I'm not saying this sympathetically to Musk. Musk is responsible for this situation as much as Trump. It was Musk who chose to dive headfirst into partisan MAGA politics. They're both guilty in this. They are both terrible people. Again, this is a Dracula versus Wolfman situation here. But despite pouring all that effort into getting Trump elected, he is now calling for Trump's impeachment publicly. And again, this is also on the heels of just an hour or two ago, Elon dropping the Epstein bomb on him. And again, I want you to note the shift, the very marked, obvious shift in tenor and tone. So as a reminder, a couple of hours ago, Donald Trump finally started to publicly attack Elon on Truth Social. He says Elon was wearing thin. I asked him to leave. I took away his EV mandate that forced everyone to buy electric cars that nobody else wanted, and he knew for months I was going to do, and he just went crazy. Then Trump follows it up by threatening to terminate Musk's government subsidies and contracts. He says, the easiest way to save money in our budget, billions and billions of dollars, is to terminate Elon's government subsidies and contracts. I was always surprised Biden didn't do it, and President Biden should have done it, by the way. So that was Trump, right, flexing, like, hey, man, I'll just kill all your contracts. I'll kill all your subsidies. Then Elon drops the Epstein bomb. He says, time to drop the really big bomb. Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. This is a real reason they've not been made public. Have a nice day, DJT, Donald John Trump. Ouch. And again, many have speculated for a long time that that is precisely what's going on, precisely why the Trump administration is delaying the release of the Epstein files and pissing off MAGA in the process. Epstein and Trump were close associates, close friends for years. He's listed in the Epstein flight logs. So, again, you following me so far? Trump finally starts flexing on Elon. Elon drops the Epstein bomb, and then this happens. This is the next tweet. I don't mind Elon turning against me, but he should have done so months ago. This is one of the greatest bills ever presented in Congress. It's a record cut in expenses, $1.6 trillion, and the biggest tax cut ever given. If this bill doesn't pass, there will be a 68% tax increase and things far worse than that. I didn't create this mess. I'm just here to fix it. This puts our country on a path of greatness. Make America great again. You see the contrast in tone? Screw you, Elon. Screw you, Elon. Elon says, okay, you're implicated in the Epstein files. And then it's like, well, I mean, I don't mind Elon turning against me. Again, just going from big alpha dog to little yappy Pomeranian in the span of an hour after that. Stunning. Stunning. Friend of the show, practicing lawyer Pisco, Donald Cuck says, or Donald Cuck doesn't mind Elon turning against him. And then, as I noted, wow, Trump sure changed his fucking tone after Elon dropped the Epstein bomb, didn't he? And he did. Elon also says that the Trump tariffs will cause a recession in the second half of this year. I mean, he is going full scorched earth. So again, there's no telling where we will be in an hour from now, folks. This is where we are. I mean, you're talking about the world's most powerful man versus the world's richest man, who is also incredibly powerful. He was, the shadow president, the co-president for the longest time. He was Donald Trump's biggest backer by far. And again, this is huge because Elon Musk is uniquely poised and uniquely positioned to be a genuine threat to Donald Trump's political project. Now, Trump will remain president for the next 3.5 years, okay? And unless he tries to violate the Constitution, the 22nd Amendment of the Constitution, he's term locked. But the humiliation that Elon can try to inflict on Trump in the meantime, as the sole proprietor of X and the owner of X, and as the world's richest man, a man who can then turn to Republican lawmakers and say, hey, listen, you're going to have to deal with Trump for the next 3 years, but do you really want to piss me, Elon Musk, off? Because I'm far richer than Donald Trump will ever dream of being, and I'll be around not for 3 years, not for 13 years, but for 30 years. I will be around. And Elon Musk has publicly threatened Republican lawmakers already. Hey, think about this. Donald Trump, you might think that Donald Trump is your immediate problem, and maybe he is, but Elon Musk could be a long-term problem. And that puts Republicans in a really precarious position, especially because many of them have other things to consider beyond just loyalty to Trump, which I would argue is by far the single greatest factor, at least prior to the last 12 hours. What if you're a Republican in a swing district? What if you're Mike Lawler? What if you're just a Republican congressperson in a competitive area? You don't think that there are primary challengers who aren't frothing at the mouth to take your place? And Elon Musk could dump tens of millions, perhaps hundreds of millions of dollars and get you thrown out. And that's no guarantee, I suppose, that it'll work. After all, Elon Musk dumped a lot of money into the Wisconsin State Supreme Court race and he lost. But that also wasn't against another Republican. It was against a Democrat in a purple state. Nobody here has the ultimate Trump card, okay? But both Trump and Musk have some pretty strong hands. But to me, it says something. Think about this. Think about the similarities. They're both stupid in their own way. They're both malignant narcissists. They're both extremely powerful. They are both very spiteful, very vindictive. And yet, Donald Trump, who's as eager and horny as anybody to pick a fight with somebody who defies him, he's just deflated with Musk. Deflated. You can hear it in his voice. You can see it on his face. The tone shift in his Truth Social posts. He goes from big dogging Elon Musk to be like, well, it's okay. I mean, it's okay. It's fine if Elon turns against me. Ouch. This is where we are. Donald Trump is clearly on some level intimidated by Musk. Will it last? I don't know. This could change tomorrow. This could change tomorrow. You never know. These two were bitter enemies in 2022, 2023. It could change. But this is a real problem for Donald Trump, for Elon Musk, the Republican Party, and this is a real opportunity for Democrats. We need to be ruthless. We need to be opportunistic. We need to stir the pot as much as possible. We need to delight in the despair of this bad faith, corrupt, authoritarian Republican Party. And we need to try to keep this going as long as possible. Who knows where it'll end? It may last another 5 minutes. It may last another 5 days. It may last 5 years. But we will definitely be keeping an eye on it. And in the meantime, let me know what you think in the comments.